Next individual is Alan Sylvia, 684 Woodward Street, Fall River, King Philip Mill.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members of the council, there's some confusion because I was anticipating gathering a number of people who were prepared to speak in support of the overlay zoning. However, I learned, thanks to the chairman, that it went quickly through ordinance and will be presented this evening to all of you to be sent on to planning. There's obviously a few members of the neighborhood association who have lots of concerns in moving that process forward. As you all know, it's been 5 years, 3 administrations, at least 6 public safety committee hearings that were really dedicated to just this process. And we had the majority of support of most of you during all that time, not only for the concerns of the citizens, but also in eradicating the most serious public safety issues that we're all aware of. So I ask for your continued support in moving this forward to planning, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Next individual is Jane Darcy, 293 Kilburn Street. Subject matter is King Philip Mill.
Mr.
Well,
President,
thank you very much, Council President.
Just before Mr. Rego
Councilor
speaks,
C3.
welcome back to the council.
Well, it's my first time here in a while.
But there were a few new people in the audience, and I think that some may want to know, how do you sign up for citizen input time? If you see the council president during Mr. Rego's presentation, I'm sure he can get you signed up. I yield.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, councilors, for allowing me to address the council tonight. Members of the audience, just here to speak about a real important issue that's very passionate to me. It's very passionate to the South End Neighborhood Association and also the South End neighborhood people in general. And I came here to address the Ordinance Committee, and Councilor Cliff Pont was very swift and kind of beat me to I was a little late, and I apologize for that. But nevertheless, I just would like to stress the importance of the perception that we give outside developers and outside companies that want to come in and develop mills or develop any type of business here in the city of Fall River. And I'm just here to say that we need to expedite this project as soon as possible with absolutely no red tape whatsoever. I encourage this council to send a letter to the planning board if there's anything that you can do from the council, to send a letter to them stating that you're in favor of this project, to expedite it a lot quicker. I think that would show the citizens of the city of Fall River on the South End Neighborhood Association that all branches of government are all on the same page. This council, along with the administration, there is a few hurdles that need to be vetted, and I understand that. There are procedures, but then again, we also have the known saying as we want developers, we want business, and we want development. The key thing here is what I'm just trying to say is that there should be absolutely no reason whatsoever why this project should not move forward, period. I did have a conversation with the Preservation Society, and there was something about $99,000. And, you know, I did have a conversation with the administration, Ms. Viveris, about the $99,000, and I understand it was for the study of the smokestack and so on and so forth. Regardless of the point, we got $110,000 for that property. Was it the best bang for the buck? Absolutely not. We all know that. South End, the people of the South End Neighborhood Association, right around the corner from my house, we're not anyway naive to the fact that that property was sold for a song. But at this point in time, if there is going to be an obstacle with the $99,000, well, let's take $99,000 out of the $110,000 that we got for it and just give it back to the Preservation Society.
15 seconds.
I was always in favor of knocking down that mill for the sake of safety. Maybe the Preservation Society can see it that they need to preserve life in that area. And that's the most important thing. And I'm going to leave you with this, and hopefully you guys can understand where I'm coming from, but nevertheless, I urge you all to do whatever it is within your power to address this development, and let's put safety first and let the people of the South End Neighborhood Association sleep at night, because they haven't been in a long, long time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rego.
Thank you.
Thank you.
President.
Councilor C3, Mr. Rego, if you want.
Yeah,
Mr. Rego.
I just would like Mr. Rego to have some clarification. I doubt the Preservation Society has anything to do with this. Preservation Society doesn't have money to give away, so you're probably thinking of the Community Preservation Act. The Community Preservation Act is city tax dollars.
Right, CPA.
Yeah, and that falls under the jurisdiction of a committee that's chaired by Mr. Ken Pacheco. So if there was any money that was channeled to do any study, it probably came from the Community Preservation Act. There's also an Historic Commission, but I know some people use those agencies' names as if they're all the same agency. They're all different agencies. I just didn't want the Preservation Society to be considered the organization that is complaining about giving $99,000, because they would not have given $99,000. They don't have that kind of money.
Then it came from CPA funds.
Probably CPA.
Well, thank you for clearing that up, Councilor Camara, but regardless of what agency it is, I don't care if it was the dog catcher's agency. Let's give them the $99,000 back, and let's not have any hurdles to go over. The people of the South End neighborhood need rest. The immediate surrounding areas people need rest. Our public safety officials, police, fire, everybody needs to be at rest with that project. So I'm just urging each and every one of you to really, really think about exactly what I'm trying to say here is we need to expedite this job and this project as soon as possible to make the people of that end of the city whole and make them comfortable where they live and where they pay taxes.
Well, I fully support the project, fully support the neighborhood.
Thank you.
I just didn't want the Community Preservation Act not to be mentioned as the group that likely provided the money. Preservation Society is a good group. They do a lot of good work, but they don't have that kind of money.
I understand
I
that.
yield. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Rego. Next individual who signed up to speak is Michelle Dion. Ms. Dion, if you could just for the record state your address and subject matter.
My name is Michelle Dion. I reside at 5 Byron Street. I'd first like to address the pizza delivery debacle. I would like to say that I was not insulting or laughing at an individual. I believe we were all caught off guard, and I believe we took it for what it was worth, and it wasn't an insult to anybody. And if anybody was offended, I'll apologize for everyone in this room. With that, I'd like to address the King Philip Mill. We do not live in utopia. In a perfect world, Danny Chow would have paid his taxes, he would have maintained his mills, and we wouldn't be in this situation. We also would have had multiple bidders, we would have received more monies, but we don't live in that perfect world. And for the people in the South End, the biggest factor is safety. There are people living next to that mill who were told by the fire department, in the event that the mill catches fire, we are setting up a perimeter. Anybody inside of that perimeter, if you can't get out of your house, you will die, because we will not come in and save you, because we have to set up a perimeter for the firemen to be safe, to be able to save as much of the neighborhood as we can. That's not a way for people to live. And I can tell, and I'm only going to tell you this because I don't know how many of you, or if any of you, I'm sure there are people who have been through a tragic, unforeseen accident. 12 years ago, my 20-year-old niece died in a canoeing accident. Nobody could avoid that. But you people have the power. You people have the ability to make sure that people don't perish. We can't guarantee there will or won't be a fire, But I certainly wouldn't want the blood of anybody on my hands by this city not moving forward with this project, whether it be you, the planning board, or any other step that has to be taken. Because that is the concern of the citizens of the South End and the other residents that support this project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dion.